Welcome back. It's time for your calls to come in. The number is 0808-054-2233. That's 0808-054-2233. Before we go on to the other questions, Victor is asking, he says, I use a pair of socks only once. I never share shoes. I wash the crevices, that's between his toes. Yet occasionally I would have a bout of athlete's foot. What do you have to say to Victor?
Well, thank you, Victor, for the question. One thing we must recognize about athlete's foot is a fungal infection. And fungal loves wet environment. Reinfection is common. So the way to handle that first is successful treatment of a first ever infection. You wear socks once. If the socks is not completely eradicated of the fungus, so when you wear it again, okay, you are taking on the same thing.
Yourself.
So part of complete treatment means you must ensure that you have done complete treatment. All the socks that you washed, you must be completely dry. Dryness is important, okay, because if it's wet, it's not fully dried. But what I think is happening in the situation, instant situation, because it's a curable condition. So if it's coming again and all, it's always that the first infection has not been completely treated.
Okay.
Yeah. And there may also be need to look beyond the socks,
okay,
and then look at the feet of the individual. He probably, sometimes you have to use a mirror to see the underneath of your feet.
Okay.
So if it's beyond him, you should see the doctor.
Explain this to us. Some people wake up with foot pain, aching feet.
Good.
And then they begin to walk. Limp, actually, and after a while it's like the pain is going down. How does a person wake up with foot pain? What is that?
Thank you very much. You see, I showed you a picture earlier on of 4 parallel lines in the body.
Okay.
The shoulder,
yes,
the hip,
the knees,
and the ankle. They must balance. Many of us, you see, we take more interest in our houses, the architectural design and all of that, rather than the architecture of our body. Many people have deformities in their shoulders, in their spine, which will translate to the hip, in their knees, and their ankle. These lines don't balance. What am I saying? There is pain in the foot, but the origin is not the foot.
Oh.
The back.
The back.
That's the most common source.
But why do they feel it in the morning? Morning?
Well, because night is for rest.
Okay.
You see, so you rest, all body functions are known to come down, respiratory rate, heart rate, muscle tone, okay? So, and there's a nerve that comes from the back, the longest nerve in the body, we call it sciatic nerve. It supplies the whole of the lower limbs, okay? So, when there is some problems in the back, lower back, and by the way, we live artificial life now. Modern life is artificial. The chair, all this, the television and all that, they are not natural creations. So, and then we get out of our house, into the car, we get to the office, we sit again, we use a computer. We are basically animals, first of all, before we are human beings. Our body is animal body. Animals are supposed to move long distances. We don't walk.
So walking is good for us.
Oh. Are you telling me
even when
the best thing we must do? Well, that's a surprising thing, but get treatment. The treatment will include analgesics and exercise.
Okay.
But this should be under guide of the expert, okay? Because people just want a quick fix. They want a solution now. They don't want something that is slow and steady, that is a marathon. Okay. That's the best solution.
Let me quickly interrupt you here. There, I have a couple of interesting questions here. Somebody says, what do I do? The bone of my feet aches. Sometimes if I walk much, it swells. I don't know what bone he's talking about. She doesn't, she's talking about, her name is Mary, but she doesn't specify. Why would the feet be swelling?
Well, as I say, there are a few things that I think the best that one can get from this kind of program or awareness is there are experts, doctors, who will diagnose what this individual has complained about, which is a symptom. Okay, if you want to get the overall insight into what is happening. Because the symptoms, what we call the patient's complaint, is the body's indication to you something is wrong with you.
Okay.
Just like I told you now, you can have pain in the foot,
But
and your
it's
foot
coming
is
from the
fine.
back.
The back is the problem. We call that referred pain.
Okay, so
Because from our mother's wombs, the feet, the whole of lower limbs, they come from the back.
okay.
It's just an outshoot from the back.
So Mary should go see her
So
doctor.
that's what I would suggest.
Precious is asking, are high heels suitable for bow legs?
Two bad questions. For this. Why do I say bad?
Why?
Bow leg, of course, from the word bow, that is a deviation from normal shape of the knee. High heels, they are shoes made by modern man, not to the shape of the animal foot. For God's sake, the foot we have is not our making. Do you get what I'm saying? Because of our interest in fashion, which is not bad. Okay, so that's why I said two bad situations.
So do you advise her to keep to low heels?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would rather say I want to stick to what I said earlier. Be fashionable and be health conscious. So the head part, she should go see a doctor about her bow legs, the bow knees. And once that is sorted out, I believe that high heels will be more useful for somebody who has
Straight
an otherwise normal legs.
Okay,
Yes,
now,
yeah.
let me ask you this question. Now, some people are accused of, they are told they have flat feet.
Yeah.
And that flat feet are usually more painful than other feet. Is this true? And, you know, enlighten us on what's the meaning of flat feet.
Yeah. Thank you once again for that. The way the shape, the foot is made, I talked about hatches. It's supposed to hatch at the center. If you see the foot pads, the pictures of the foot pad that I gave you, and all of us at one time or the other, we have walked on sand. You'll see that once, not this, you see that once you walk on sand, or if you step on maybe some coloring agent and you put it, it is not your entire feet that will show.
Oh, what a wonderful way to find it.
So it's in some of those pictures I gave you. So flat foot just means you are now seeing. Of course, it's so easy to understand. If you put your fingers, yeah. If you put your fingers, in the underneath of the midfoot, your fingers should be able to pass through. Okay, but in a flat-footed person, you cannot get your fingers to go through.
Under the
Remember,
arch.
your foot is bearing your body weight.
Okay.
Those ligaments are already stretched. That will be the source of the pain. And then the moment the ligaments are straight, the normal arrangement of the bones will be distorted. I mean, for God's sake, there's congruency. If there's a bone that has a concavity, it will fit into a convexity of another one. The moment you have flat feet, you distort all the arrangement. So bone start rubbing on bone, you damage cartilage. Cartilage is the structure that you find at the joint. It does not have nerve supply. Part of God's own way of protecting us. It is the bone that has nerve supply. So the moment you damage the cartilage, bone will be exposed.
And that
then you
causes
have pain.
pain.
Yeah. So the person should see the doctor.
Now,
And there are some other things that happen. Just like I told you, the foot is like the foundation. Once there's a problem in the foot, it will translate to the rest part of the body. The knees will also wobble. It will get to the
but
back.
conversely, if you have problems in the other part of the
It will
body,
affect the foot.
it now affects the foot.
That is why you must appreciate the engineering of the foot. And people must be told through this medium, we all pay a lot of attention to our face and nothing to our foot. We should give it the same attention.
Well, that's it on this program. Time is up. Thank you so much for that very interesting talk. And thanks, viewers, for letting us into your home. It's been a wonderful time. Let's do it again next week. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.